Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that the Pacers are considering more than a dozen candidates to fill their head coaching vacancy. The impressive list of names includes our own Chauncey Billups, Becky Hammon from the Spurs, Dave Yeager, Jack Vaughn, who was just given a pay raise to remain on Nash's staff over in Brooklyn. Paul, how appealing is the Pacers' job for someone like, say, Chauncey?
Well, it's just another opportunity. I mean, Chauncey should have been in somebody's front office coaching staff years ago. I feel like he's one of the bright minds of this game. And then when you hear him talk on television, I mean, he sounds like he knows what he's doing and trying to run a franchise or run a team. And Becky Hammon, her resume speaks for itself.
Yeah, no, there's a ton of great candidates. And the one good news is that there's a lot of job openings out there. So, and some very, very good jobs also. So, you know, if this one doesn't work out, it'll work out someplace else for a lot of these candidates.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Chauncey in particular has so much to recommend him. Just the fact that he's almost been three different players as a single player, right? He's been the big star, the finals MVP. He's also been the journeyman. He's been the guy who nobody gave a lot of chances to or credit when he bounced around from team to team at the beginning. So he can kind of relate to a lot of guys on the roster. It is fascinating, though, Richard, because you're right. There are more jobs open than I can really remember in a while that weren't just scrappy rebuilding jobs, where a new coach who had maybe never coached before was getting handed the first, you know, kind of the bottom of the litter and having to make something of it. There's a great job opening in Philadelphia. There's a fantastic job opening in New Orleans. Of course, we mentioned the Pacers, Chicago. There's now a job opening in Oklahoma City. So there's a lot there. I think these coaching candidates will be interesting to see where they eventually fall. You know what else is going to be interesting, friends? The last 2-minute report from last night's Raptors-Celtics game. NBA Twitter holding its collective breath right now, because it might be more like a novel based on what we saw in double overtime. The Celtics thought they had a late foul on Kemba Walker. We had coaches' challenges, replay reversals, technicals. It was a lot to keep track of. So, Paul, which play are you most interested to see on the last 2-minute report?
I mean, we all know late in the game that Kemba Walker got fouled. But look, this is the playoffs, and you got to expect no calls. The refs are doing their best, and the players got to earn it. You know, when I win the games like this, I didn't expect calls, so every call that I got was a bonus. So, like, right there, I'm not yelling. I'm not wasting that time going at the ref because I expect the missed calls like this. If you can go into the game with that type of mindset, you can't let the refs get in your head. If you go in with that kind of mindset, you'll be fine.
Look, no one cares. I think the 2-minute report is one of the worst things that has come of basketball in the last 10 years. It is the worst. It doesn't do anything but cause undue pressure on the referees. Nothing is ever going to go back and change anything. And all it does is make players frustrated from the beginning. If you read that 2-minute report, then you go into a game 1 minute in, a referee makes a questionable call, and you're like, here we go. They're trying to cheat us again. It's like, look, at the end of the day, nothing can happen. It's the postseason. Play on. Who cares?
Yeah, man. It's like adding insult to injury.
I know the players are obsessed and ex-players.
Yeah.
I know you guys feel that way, but the point is, it's not like this stuff is all on videotape. It's not like, or whatever we record on these days, it's not like the entire world doesn't see mistakes. And we have seen in the NFL when they just pretend that the mistakes never happen and they don't acknowledge them, it just causes more of a story. And it's a longer-term thing. And players are just as upset about missed calls as they were with the last 2-minute report. At least the league is coming out and being honest about it. This just in at the buzzer. Danny's like, stop talking about officiating. Producer Danny, I'm listening. Kevin Durant went on JJ Redick's Old Man in the Three podcast. Great name. Here's what he said when asked if Caris LeVert can be the next third star. KD said, quote, I think Caris is that perfect guy for us. Any given night, he could lead us in scoring or assists. He can control the offense. We can go to him in the post in a matchup. I feel like he has the tools to do everything on the basketball court. Richard, you call Nets games. You've seen a lot of Caris LeVert. Do you agree with KD that he's the third star for them?
I do believe. And look, I think the Clippers are going to win a championship this year without a third star. So I don't know if you need a third per se star. But as far as a high-level player, Caris LeVert can do it all. And he's still young. He's still getting better. The one thing that I think could really help him, or I would say two things. One, needs to be a very, very good defender. And then two, needs to learn how to run a team from a point guard spot, something that Spencer Dinwiddie has done really, really well with the last couple of years. And that'll help elevate his game.
Yeah, I like him a lot, but I don't like him. When I looked at that lineup, I like him more off the bench to be a scorer and just utilize his tools, because you got KD and Kyrie out there, but he could definitely be that third scorer, sort of like a Lou Williams, and come off that bench and get buckets.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.